What up, YouTube? So we got an update on Shaquilla Robinson case. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. It's about 13 minutes, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let it play, and then I'll jump in with my commentary after. But we got a lot to talk about, man. This is a very, very serious video. I just recently did a video talk about not having friends, and in this video, I want to talk about black women, especially successful, mainly successful, attractive black women not having friends. Also, successful black men as well. It goes for men too, but this video is mainly about Shaquilla. I want to have respects to her. Rest in peace to her. Shout out to her family. So let this play. It's about 13 minutes. You can go ahead and skip ahead if you want to watch the whole thing. If you want to jump into listening and watching me talk, but I'm gonna go ahead and let this play, and I'll see you after it's done.
I've got an update on the Shanquella Robinson case for you today. If you've been following this case with me since the beginning, then you know exactly why this episode matters. But if this is your first time hearing about it, let me bring you up to speed. Shanquella Robinson was a young woman from Charlotte, North Carolina, full of life, love, and ambition. In October 2022, she traveled to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with 6 people she considered friends, a group now infamously known as the Cabo Six. But within 24 hours of arriving, Shanquella was dead. At first, her so-called friends told her mother, Salamandra Robinson, that she had died from alcohol poisoning. But that was a lie. A blatant, cold-blooded lie. Because the autopsy from Mexico told a very different story. Shanquella had suffered a spinal cord injury and a broken neck. Not alcohol poisoning, not an accident, but severe trauma. And then came the video. A horrifying, gut-wrenching video surfaced, allegedly showing Dejanay Jackson, who, by the way, has now changed her name to Amani Green, in what seems like an attempt to escape accountability. But a name change won't erase what we all saw, her viciously attacking Shanquella. Shanquella was naked, defenseless, and not fighting back. She wasn't even trying to resist. And yet, there was someone filming. The group was standing there, watching, egging it on, while she was being brutally beaten. Not stepping in, not stopping it, just watching. This video changed everything. Because for the first time, the world saw undeniable proof that something horrific happened to Shanquella. This wasn't speculation. This was evidence. And yet, no arrests were made. Since that moment, Shanquella's family has been fighting. They have been demanding accountability, pushing through bureaucratic roadblocks, and refusing to let this case fade into silence. And we've been right there with them, seeking the truth, bringing the updates, and making sure this case does not disappear. In my last update, I told you about the civil lawsuit that was filed. Because despite everything, despite the video, the autopsy, and the blatant lies, no one has been held accountable. So now, the Robinson family is taking matters into their own hands with this lawsuit.
Released records from the FBI in the Shanquella Robinson case. She is the Charlotte woman who traveled to Mexico with friends in 2022 and then mysteriously died.
The group of friends became known as the Cabo Six. Tonight, while most of the documents are heavily redacted, we did find some new information.
New information in the Shanquella Robinson case as the FBI releases some of its files after a news media FOIA request. Robinson left her home in Charlotte to take a trip to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico with 5 friends in October 2022. She died on the trip. The FBI records reveal that on November 9th, a man showed up here to the FBI Charlotte field office to provide information about what he believed was Robinson's murder. Her friends have said Robinson died from alcohol poisoning after a night of heavy drinking, but the medical examiner in Cabo says she died from a broken neck. These new FBI records show that someone, their name has been redacted, also called the FBI Threat Center to provide information as well. They say there was an altercation and that Shanquella died, and they're not sure exactly what happened. Previously reported video shows Robinson being attacked on the trip. The person told the FBI that she hit her head on the toilet. This person said they believe there were 2 cameras in the Airbnb in Cabo and was trying to get the footage. They also said they saw pictures of Robinson's body and there are bruises on her and she looks like she was stomped on. These new case records also show the FBI was given Shanquilla Robinson's black iPhone, completed a full system extraction, and attached relevant photos to their report. Those photos were redacted out of the documents the news media received.
Robinson's family has filed a lawsuit against the Cabo Six and the federal government. They say the feds didn't act fast enough in their investigation. The feds want the lawsuit thrown out, saying they don't have jurisdiction in Mexico. A judge has not made a decision about the lawsuit yet.
I have an itch in my throat that I cannot scratch.
Or can I? Claritin liquid is powerful allergy relief and an instantly soothing liquid.
Not only is it good for itchy throats, but it also relieves sneezing, runny nose, itchy.
The latest development? 2 of the Cabo Six are now actively fighting to have the civil lawsuit against them dismissed. Why? They say they want it moved to Mexico. Yeah, you heard that right, Mexico. The same country where an arrest warrant was reportedly issued for Dejanay, where their investigation initially ruled Shanquella's death as a homicide, where authorities have been accused of mishandling evidence. So why are 2 of the Cabo Six pushing to have this civil case tried in Mexico? It's a stall tactic. They know that moving the case to Mexico creates legal hurdles, complicates the process, and makes it harder for the Robinson family to fight back. This is deliberate legal maneuvering to avoid consequences. But this case is not going away so easily. Things are just heating up for the Robinsons. They are finally seeing something they had not seen in this case before. Responses from the very people who have managed to evade them since Shanquella's death. The lawsuit, filed by Shanquella's mother, Salamandra Robinson, seeks wrongful death and battery charges against Amani Green, formerly Dejanay Jackson, as well as negligence, conspiracy, and emotional distress charges against the entire Cabo Six. Let's talk about what's at stake here. The family is asking for $2 million for wrongful death, $2 million for battery, and $400,000 per defendant for negligence, conspiracy, and emotional distress. That's a lot of money. But let's be real. When it comes to the Cabo Six, the Robinson family knows they don't have it. Let it not be mistaken. This family wants the money. It is a form of justice for them. But they also know that the financial compensation will likely come from the agencies they have included in the lawsuit, the United States Department of State and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. These are institutions with resources, authority, and a duty to act, yet they failed Shanquella in critical ways. But when it comes to the Cabo Six, this lawsuit is about something much bigger than money. So, if it's not about the money, then what is this lawsuit really about? It's about accountability. They were denied accountability when the FBI refused to file charges. They were denied accountability when the US and Mexican investigations contradicted each other. They were denied accountability when the Cabo Six fled Mexico and stayed silent. This lawsuit? It's a chess move. Because here's the thing. They can run from social media, they can hide from the press, but they cannot ignore a court order. A civil lawsuit forces them to respond. They will have to sit down, answer questions, and produce evidence. And don't let one of them slip up and say the wrong thing during discovery, because everything they say will be used against them, guaranteed. And let's not forget, criminal cases often come from civil ones. We've seen it time and time again. Someone thinks they're just testifying for a lawsuit, and before they know it, their own words have paved the way for criminal charges. This is why they are so desperate to have the case dismissed, because they know that if they have to answer questions under oath, the entire cover-up could start to unravel. And let's talk about the ever-changing lies. First, they said alcohol poisoning. Now, the FBI report states someone from the Cabo Six told them she hit her head on a toilet. And in the same FBI report, someone who saw photos of her body said it looked like she had been stomped on. So which is it? Are we really supposed to ignore what we saw with our own eyes, a brutal attack, and instead believe the ever-changing stories of the people who left her for dead? It's gaslighting at its worst. But wait, look at who is pushing to have the case moved to Mexico. It's not Dejanay Jackson. It's Elise Hyatt and Winter Donovan. So now that this lawsuit is real, now that they are being compelled to respond, some of them seem to care less about what happens to Dejanay, who runs the risk of being arrested the moment she steps foot on Mexican soil. Remember that warrant? What does that tell you? It's becoming every man for himself. They were all thick as thieves when they were dodging the truth together, but now that the legal system is forcing them to answer for their actions, suddenly they're looking out for their own best interests. Is this the first sign of their so-called pact breaking? Because if they were truly standing together, wouldn't they be fighting this lawsuit as a group? But instead, they're splitting up, hiring different attorneys, and some are even trying to separate themselves from Dejanay altogether. Their interests are no longer aligned. And why is that? First, no one wants to go down with Dejanay. And second, they're realizing that sticking together could be their downfall. Their reputations, ability to get jobs, future career opportunities, and even their financial security are all at risk. No company wants to hire someone embroiled in a high-profile wrongful death lawsuit. No employer wants to deal with the media circus and scrutiny that comes with being linked to this case. So now, self-preservation has taken over. Their pact wasn't just emotional, it was strategic, and now it's falling apart. This right here, this is survival mode. And when people are in survival mode, the truth starts slipping out. Now, if the lies weren't bad enough, let's talk about what the autopsy reports actually revealed. Because we're not just working with one autopsy, we have two. The first autopsy, conducted in Mexico, stated atlas luxation, which means her top vertebra was dislocated, spinal cord injuries, that she died within 15 minutes of receiving those injuries. It was clear. Her death was violent. But then came the U.S. report. By the time Shenquela's body was returned to the U.S., a second autopsy was conducted. And suddenly, things changed. Atlas luxation was missing. Instead, they listed hypoxic ischemic brain injury and hemorrhages. And with that, the FBI concluded that her death was inconclusive. Now, let's pause for a second. With these injuries, the brain injuries and hemorrhages the FBI itself listed, combined with the brutal attack caught on video, their ever-changing alibis, their evasion, and their clear consciousness of guilt, shouldn't that be enough to at least let a jury decide?
Popeyes has the best of both wings. Our juicy chicken is marinated to
I hate ads. I apologize for the ads, man.
all 8 flavors.
Almost done here.
Despite these documented injuries, and a fight that occurred within 24 hours of her death, one we all witnessed with our own eyes, we're expected to believe that she simply hit her head on a toilet while intoxicated? Because let's be clear, hypoxic ischemic brain injury and hemorrhages don't just happen on their own. According to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, hypoxic ischemic brain injury occurs when the brain is deprived of oxygen due to severe trauma, cardiac arrest, or prolonged unconsciousness, all of which can result from a violent assault. Similarly, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention states that blunt force trauma is a leading cause of intracranial hemorrhages, often resulting from head injuries sustained during physical assaults or falls. But let's be clear, this wasn't just a fall, because when you add in the graphic video of her being brutally beaten, medical examiners stating that this type of assault could have caused her death, photos allegedly showing signs that she may have been stomped on, the Cabo Six's ever-changing stories, their middle-of-the-night escape from Mexico, their refusal to seek immediate medical attention, demanding that the medical doctor only provide fluids instead of transporting her to a hospital, thereby denying her appropriate emergency health care, and their total silence ever since. This is more than enough for a criminal case. At the very least, the delay in medical treatment alone, following a fight they were all aware of but actively lied about, should have resulted in criminal negligence or manslaughter charges. Because here's what we know. 1. They knew a violent attack took place. 2. They denied Shenquela the medical treatment she needed. 3. They lied about what happened. 4. She died under their watch. If nothing else, the legal system should have at least let a jury decide. But instead, she was robbed of her future. And now, the people responsible are doing everything in their power to avoid accountability. At least let a jury.
All right, guys. So no need to even see me. I know you can kind of see me through the screen. I'm going to add in my commentary, man. We're going to end this video. I know I've never talked about this case before on this channel, But with this update and me becoming a lot more wiser since I first heard of this case, I'm going to tell you my opinion on what I think happened and what went down. Now, this content creator who posted this video left out some very important evidence that I heard the first time I heard about this case. I heard that Shanquella footed the bill for this trip. Now, if anybody knows the accurate truth, comment down below. But that's what I heard the first time I heard this story. I heard that she paid for all her friends to go on this trip to Mexico with her. Now, I'm sure that they had their own spending money, you know what I'm saying? Probably some extra spending money, but from what I remember hearing is she paid for the trip, for the plane tickets and stuff like that. Maybe even for the hotel as well, maybe. But I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. So we're going to go ahead and say that. Now, the reason why I brought that up is because it's very important. It's extremely important. It goes back to what I said at the beginning of this video before I played this video this content creator posted about not having real friends. When you're a successful black woman, when you're a successful black man, heck, when you're a successful white woman, it doesn't matter what race you are. When you are financially successful and you have looks on top of it, there are people that will be jealous of you. You know what I'm saying? People that are at that level, the top level of their financial game, they don't have friends. They have associates. Like-minded people that they may go out with, you know, have dinner, drinks with, you know, chop up some business ideas, some investment ideas, but they don't consider those people friends. You got to be very careful who you call a friend and consider a friend when you are financially well off. I'm talking about when you hit that 6 figures bracket. When you actually have 6 figures in your bank account, 6 figures in your safe. You know what I'm saying? The average person, you know what I'm saying? Most people do not have that kind of money. So once you get to that level, you got to be careful who you consider friends, because even those associates you go out with, they may not be able to keep up with you. There are a lot of posers out here, a lot of pump fakers, you know what I'm saying? A lot of frauds out here. There are a lot of people that you may meet. You may chop it up with over drinks, over fancy dinner, over a business trip. You see that they got a nice suit on, or if they're female, they got a nice Birkin bag, a Rolex on their wrist. They're wearing designer. They're hopping out of a nice car, but they may not be able to keep up with you. That may be a front. That car may be borrowed. The jewelry and the clothes may be stolen or boosted off of somebody. They may went through a booster. That's why you got to be very careful. That's why a lot of people who are financially well off, they are careful who they consider friends. Even people who they sit down, like I said, and do business deals with. They don't consider them friends. They consider them associates. Unless they grew up with that person from day one. You know what I'm saying? They grew up with that person, went to high school, middle school, grew up together, played in the sandbox, or their family members are really, really tight, something like that. They don't consider those people friends. You will always be considered an associate. And now look at these 6 people. I guarantee you right now that these people did not have the kind of money that Shaquilla had. Again, I'm going off of the first video, and I believe her mother spoke in the first video. We got to hear from her mother, right? Shanquilla was well off. She had money. She was not hurting for money. I may even want to go. I think she did. I think she was a hairdresser. I think she did hair, maybe even some modeling, but I know she had bread. These people that she brought with her did not have the kind of money she has. Now, let me get to what I think happened, right? What I think happened is they all were drinking. Shanquilla maybe had a little bit too much to drink, maybe. And she said, I pay for all you. You're the reason why I'm here. Y'all wouldn't even been here if it wasn't for me. Y'all broke. Y'all don't even have money, right? This is my opinion. This is what I think happened. And, you know what I'm saying? The two middle, they got offended because from what I saw in the original video, it wasn't just the one in the middle at the top that beat on her. The one down below, the Spanish looking one, she beat on her as well. So I believe that these two took it upon themselves because their feelings were hurt, their emotions were hurt, to physically assault Shanquilla because they didn't like what was said, right? And I think the dude on the bottom left, I believe, was the one that was recording the fight. Correct me if I'm wrong. But one of the dudes recorded the fight and the other people just stood there and watched, right? Because they felt offended as well. They may have said, I'm not going to jump in. I'm not going to put hands on her, but I'm not going to stop it. She just hurt my feelings. She just made me feel small. She called me a brokey. Like Lotto said, she called me a brokey. She pretty much told me that I wouldn't have been able to be on this trip if it wasn't for her. That I'm not worth nothing, that I'm not on her level, that I don't look as good as her. This is what I believe happened. I believe liquor was involved, and I believe egos got hurt, feelings got hurt. Now, if Shaquilla did say that, was she wrong? Yes. But that doesn't mean you go ahead and assault your friend because you don't like what was said. Okay? Shaquilla didn't fight back. The videos we saw, she was not fighting back. So you were just being a bully at that point. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. You gonna beat up your friend that took you on vacation over words? Because she was drunk, and when she sobered up, she probably would have apologized and said, or said, I don't even remember saying that. The best thing these people could have did was say, okay, chalk it up to the game, and then when you got back home, just cut ties. Or put her in her place, say, there's no need for you to talk to me like that, to try to make me feel small. You invited us on this trip. You offered to pay for us to come here. Why are you going to make us feel small just because you have more money than us? That's not right. I don't consider you a friend. That's what they should have done. But no. This is why I said in a previous video about liquor needs to be banned. We see so many cases, so many stories of drunk driving, people being shot, stabbed, assaulted, beat to death because they were intoxicated, disrespecting law enforcement, disrespecting their parents, their loved ones, their significant other, all because they are under the influence of alcohol. Weed isn't doing this shit. I smoke weed twice a day, every day. Weed doesn't make me do the stuff that these people do. Why is there a package store on every corner? There's a package store everywhere you look. Even in the suburbs, you're going to see a lot of package stores. They know, these people, the government knows that people are going to always drink. The government knows that there are a lot of people that can't handle their liquor. They know this. But it's all about money at the end of the day. But you as a grown person, if you know you cannot control your liquor, why do you continue to drink liquor? I guarantee you all 6 of these people have been in situations where they've been drunk and have done things that they wouldn't have done sober. Or done things that they have regretted once they became sober again, but they still continue to drink. I don't drink. I know how I get when I'm drunk. I know I want to fight the world. I think I'm the Incredible Hulk. I don't drink. I stay away from that mess. Why do you think some package stores are called wine and spirits? Because when you get that liquor in you, the demonic spirit comes over you and it makes you do things out of ordinary. I'm sorry if I rambled a little bit, if I got off topic, but I feel like I'm staying on topic because we know damn well there was liquor involved. We know damn well. But yeah, that's what I believe happened, man. I believe Shanquilla made these people feel small, made them feel beneath her. And maybe she's always done that. Maybe that's just who she is. But don't assault a person. Get away from a person. Now, like I said, man, when I posted my video the other day talking about not having friends as me being myself, it goes the same thing for men. It's the same thing for men, man. Once you reach a certain level, you got to hang around people that are on your same level. But let's keep it with the females because I want black females to really understand this and pay attention to this. I remember I was watching a story that came across my feed about, I think it was Baltimore. It was a young hairdresser in Baltimore. She just opened her own hair salon and she was gunned down out of jealousy because they were jealous of her because she was young, she was doing her thing, successful, and she was pretty. She was beautiful. When you are financially well off as a black female, as a female in general, and you have looks as well, and you're young and you're doing your thing, you got to watch who you hang around with, man. Don't be hanging around females that are not pretty, that are ugly. I know looks aren't everything, but I'm sorry. When it comes to stuff like this, yes, they do matter, man. Ugly people do ugly things. And let me get off topic real quick. The 30th of this month, Selena's killer is supposed to be released of this month. You see how ugly that lady is and how ugly she was in her 30s when she shot Selena? Selena should have never surrounded herself with a woman like that. You know that woman was jealous of Selena's success, of her beauty, of her good heart. Now back to it, man. Same thing for you as a black woman if you're watching this. If you are successful as a black woman, you are on the top of your game, you have stuff going for yourself, you have a business, you pay a mortgage, you have a nice car, you have people that love, a family that loves and cares about you, you got a man that loves and cares about you. You got to surround yourself with other black females that are on the same level, that look like something, that is doing something. Hyenas hang out with hyenas and they're gonna hunt. The lionesses hang with lionesses and they're gonna be beautiful. And they're gonna watch the kings, the lions go out there and hunt it and get the prey and bring it back. Now, if you didn't understand that, what I really meant was the ghetto birds, the ghetto chicks that, you know what I'm saying, just go around being loud, obnoxious, twerking everywhere, posting their butt all over social media, don't own anything, looking for a handout from a drug dealer or some street wannabe rapper dude. Got tons of baby daddies. Those women, let those women hang together. But you as a successful black woman that's doing something, that has stuff going for herself, that has goals, that carries herself with class, you don't be hanging around with no hyenas. I don't care if you say I'm trying to give her game, I want her to do better for herself. Do it from a distance. Do it from a distance. Don't ever hang out with her. Don't ever meet up with her. Don't get close with people like that, man, because this is what happens when you do. Shanquella was at a totally different level than these people. These people were beneath her. And you may say, oh, all people are equal. No, they're not. Look what they did. Look what these rats did. When she took them on vacation, when they got some liquor in their system, when their egos got hurt, look what they did. This is why you stay away from people like this, man. And a lot of the times, it's always not the looks, the being ugly on the outside. Sometimes it's being ugly on the inside. She could be pretty on the outside. Like, look at the Spanish girl at the bottom in the middle. And even the girl on the top right. They look pretty in these pictures. But they were clearly ugly on the inside. And if you actually look at the Spanish girl, you could tell she has a sneaky side to her. She looks sneaky. I wouldn't trust anybody that looks like that. Heck, they all look sneaky. Actually, look into their eyes. Look at them. They all look sneaky. And the one at the top in the middle that did the most damage, she giving Shannon Sharp with a wig on. If you see her, look at the chin. Look at that chin, man. That's a strong chin. That's a manly chin. Even if you see her whole build, man, she looked like she got power behind those punches. For real. And then they said it looked like Shanquella got stomped on. This video is already going on 30 minutes, man. It's already too long, man. But I think I get the point, man. My point is, again, no matter what race you are, no matter what your gender is, when you're at the top of your game, you need to surround yourself with people that are at the top of their game as well. Because if they are not, they will try to break you down. They will try to break you down. They will try to bring you down to their level, or they will end you. They will end you if they have the opportunity, if you give them the leeway. Rest in peace to Shanquella, man. My condolences to her family, her friends, and her loved ones, man. Let this be a lesson. If you came across this video and you watched this whole video, let this be a lesson to you, man. Look at your surroundings. Look at your circle, who you're surrounding yourself with. Are they on the same level as you? Do they have goals in life? Are they ugly either on the outside, inside, or both? If so, you may want to separate yourself so you don't end up in the same situation as her. I'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace and love.